Alright guys, so welcome back to Dry Arabia. We've got ReallyUnskilled versus ISanych. ReallyUnskilled on the blue trunks HRE, the red trunks French. We got ISanych, and yeah, like I said, we're on Arabia. We're playing in the Warchief Club 17 by Attico. The European split for this week. So we've actually got 4 events this week. We've got OCE, Americas, and EU, which are the 3 usual events now and going forward. So check it out, guys. On top of that, there's a battle for NA on Sunday, so that's actually tomorrow. This game was played out on Thursday, I believe, but I'm actually casting this on Saturday this week. So sorry for the delayed casting, but I hope you enjoy. And make sure to check out the Warchief Club or TWC on Maturino and start.gg, and yeah, huge shout outs to Attico for hosting these. We've got ReallyUnskilled on his HRE, which he's pretty notorious for grinding the ladder on at the moment, but he is pretty flexible on the other civs, no doubt. And we've got ISanych playing as the French today, an up and coming face who's really making a name for himself in the TWC competition. So both of our players now becoming quite seasoned at AoE4, sorry. AoE2, yeah. Man, I hate to say it, but as someone who plays 5 games in the series, AoE2 players basically live up to the notoriety of being that little bit more pig-headed than the rest of us. I mean, we're all pretty pig-headed, don't get me wrong, about our favourite games in the series. But, man, those guys take the cake. So ISanych just going for food and gold at this point. Really just empowering his food gatherers. You can even look at shifting his prelate if he wants to empower his wood gatherers as well on top of this. Not deciding to go and empower his gold gatherers because he can always just send another villager, I guess. And I mean, I suppose he's probably not looking at going towards wheelbarrow at the moment. Maybe looking to just go for a fast Burgrave. Because, I mean, if he can get that out, he can get upgraded man-at-arms and spearmen out and really mess with the French knights and force them to have to play with with archers that they then, you know, are going to sort of struggle with the man-at-arms against. So School of Cavalry coming out for ISanych, and yeah, I feel like fast age up HRE at the moment seems to be the meta-defining way we play in the early to mid game. While Chinese, obviously, they sort of handle the back end of the game because they're phenomenal grenadiers, hand cannoneers, and a nest of bees. But we're not worrying about China for now, we're worrying about France and Germany, or French and HRE, sorry. We've got to be game label Nazis. Or maybe we don't. So we got French and HRE facing off, and it looks like the HRE players managed to find a lot of sheep, which is awesome because French is probably one of the civs you want to restrict sheep count on the most. It really makes it awkward for them to have to try and get early food techs and try and expand out to food on the map. When they're sort of trying to beeline lots of knights early on, they don't really get any bonuses for food other than the fact that all their eco techs are cheaper. And as HRE, I mean, it's nice to be able to have resources under your Archon Chapel, as many gatherers around them as long as possible as well. So you're another civ that, you know, it's nice to definitely win out on sheep early on for sure. Obviously, with a civ like English, it's probably not such a drama. You know, you've got the farms, a really versatile food eco of theirs. So really, looking to gather stone, perhaps. Maybe go for a second TC. Or go for some upgraded towers here. He's probably going to have to get a camp down here because that's a lot of walk time he'd be getting. ISanych in the meanwhile. Gonna be able to start the night production, the first one. Nearly out. All these villagers. Really, he's brought them back. He's actually getting the arrow slits upgrade now. It's going to be quite handy for him because he's not going to have to worry about the initial night pressure and having to get shitloads of spearmen who can probably just leave in his wood line. So ISanych, go for barracks as well as a school of cav. And really he's actually adding a range as well, so a little rough for ISanych because he's not going to have anything that the spears are going to be an immediate use against as the French player. He's even taking the upgrade for him. Well, you know, his knight's going to be under pressure by the barracks. Saying that the range, while it's going to be a problem for ISanich's infantry, it's going to be under threat by the knights. So, raid going on, but ISanych having a retreat. He doesn't want to lose the knight. He doesn't want to have to worry about getting chivalry too early as well, which is always a bit of a problem. But for the time being, really he's just trying to even get a bit of farm gathering going on underneath the chapel because it would be worthwhile. I mean, it's a 40% gather rate and carry rate bonus. Quite powerful. The knight unable to really get any more value till that heal kicks in. So a lot of ranges coming out now for ISanych. The barracks is, unfortunately for him, not really going to be of huge benefit yet because really he's made no attempt at actually getting stables, and ISanych, still being in age 2, can't access man-at-arms as French. Well, really can always slip a couple into his unit comp, and other than the knights, there's nothing really that can deal with them. So now the stables comes out, so finally the barracks might be of value. But I suppose ISanych this way at least has already got the spearman upgrade out, isn't having to worry about getting the spearmen out before they're even upgraded, and then trying to take the upgrade, and I'm watching them just get shredded to bits by the thing they're supposed to counter. ISanych may be able to pinch that relic and put it in the tower even. Because now he's starting to ramp up his gold gathering. I mean, so, oh, actually that's right. He can't put it in the tower, he's not the HR replay, but he can take it home, or at least, at the very least, deny the HR replay from doing the same thing, putting it in a tower, or bringing it back to a fast Regnitz Cathedral, which would really up the ante here. The HR replayers generated a wicked amount of gold out of that thing. French player in the meanwhile needs to either get an eco lead with a second town center or try and really put some pressure on here, get some kills and slow down that HRE boom. But ISanych was a little bit food starved at the moment. Here we go. It's going to have plenty more on the way. So really, marching drills and iron undermesh, another arrow slitted tower just in case, and the broad axe upgrade. And ISanich's just making sure he's got a lot of map control over really, but really I think he's just pretty comfortable to just defend for the minute. Getting a couple of horsemen, nice mixed army at the moment. And he's got the gold he needs. Oh no, sorry, that's ISanych who's got the gold he needs to look at going for a castle age if he needs. Or just throw up a whole bunch of eco text behind this. But ISanych, careful to not stay around too long here. He can take a little bit of damage because all these cavalry will regen, the scout and the knights. And really he's going to have to retreat because he doesn't really have any regen here other than on the scout. He doesn't have enough to take down the tower with ease just yet. He may be able to pick off some of these units. We get the horsemen and a couple of these bowmen of ISanych, so perhaps he was best off leaving him under this tower now. So now really he's going to look at pushing, and in the meanwhile, really ramping up the gathering for the Age 2 army. He's not even worrying about gathering a lot of gold at the moment. So ISanich's now found with his tail between his legs. Is he trying to go towards Age 3? No, not yet, but he's lost a lot in this initial fight here, so the tower is going to go down. And there are spearmen here to snare the knights. Oh no, there's nothing in it now. Ooh. And really he's even managed to sneak a horseman over here. ISanych can clean it up with the amount of villages he's got, but he's really having to pay attention to the army over here for the moment. So he's probably going to drop a couple of villages while this is going on. He's doing well, trying to keep his knights alive and pick off all the spearmen. He's really thinning that unit count for the HRE player, but meanwhile, really he's thinning his villager count. Ooh, it's rough for Really in the meanwhile. I mean, really, this is rough for ISanych, and in the meanwhile, really he's walling up his base, trying to force another engagement and keep the French player busy. And ISanych lost all of his front line now, so his archers is now running away. Ooh, ISanych still hasn't noticed that Really has that horseman. He's going to pick off another couple of villages for free while this fight's going on. ISanych needs to find somewhere to gather gold safely at the moment. He's trying to go towards that Age 3 town centre, but he's overgathered on stone and doesn't have the wood he needs just yet. Probably needed to fit another lumber camp here. So things are looking really rough for him, and he still hasn't noticed. This horseman has really punched above his weight here. He's picked off 5 or 6 vills now. And just now ISanich's noticed, and not before another vill's going to fall. Oh, this is not good for him, and the wolf's even going to try and fight the villager. Meanwhile, Really's keeping the pressure up. He knows he doesn't necessarily need to go to Age 3 at this point. He's done a great job with the Age 2 HRE push here. Even though Age 3, quick Age 3 is the way to go against a civ like French, sometimes playing this long Age 2 actually really works out for you, or sets you up for that great Age 3. You don't necessarily need to take the fastest Age 3 you possibly can. And so Really is doing a wonderful job here. And ISanych, I think, is going to have to tap out. Be sent to the losers bracket for TWC 17 EU very shortly. There we have it. So ISanych, unfortunately, not picking the right comp for the situation and not getting that second town centre out to try and boom, because really just, well, he really analysed that situation well.